Okay, so we have filled out our fraction, decimal, and eventually the percent part of our chart. These are the benchmark fractions you need to memorize, and most of them you probably already know. Okay, on this page we are going to convert the fractions to decimals. Now the easiest and fastest way is to first know the benchmarks. If you know 1/4 is a 0.25, then you don't have to do any math. 1/4 is a quarter, and a quarter is 25 cents. And then a half is a 0.5. If you like, you can put a 0.50. If you make it look like money, sometimes it's easier to work with. And then 6 2/5, well, 6 is 1 whole. And then the 2/5 on your hand, each finger is worth 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So 2 out of 5, 20, 40 would be a 0.4 or a 0.40. 2/5 is 0.40. So 6 2/5 is 6.40. Now those are the benchmarks, or some of them. If you learn those, you can answer these kinds of questions really quickly. Now down here, sometimes you may not know what the fraction is right away, and it'll help you to reduce it first. So try to simply first reduce it, and then maybe it'll be a benchmark that you know. Like 6/8 can reduce to 3/4, and 3/4 is 3/4. Like 1/4 is 25 cents, 3/4 is 75 cents, or 0.75. 10 and 20 can reduce to 1/2, and same as above, 1/2 is 50 cents, or 0.50. And then 5 and 4/12. Well, I don't know what the twelfths are, but I can reduce 4 and 12. So I can keep my whole number, and if I take 4 divided by 4 and 12 divided by 4, I will get 1/3. And 1/3 would be 5.33, and it keeps repeating. So I put on a forever hat, also known as a vinculum. Okay, so the first strategy, know your benchmarks, write them down, boom. The second one, reduce to a benchmark you already know, and then fill it in, write it down. The third, if I have 7 out of 20 and I can't reduce that, maybe I can get my denominator to go to 10 or 100. Well, 20 can go to 10 by dividing by 2, but 7 divided by 2 would give me 3.5. That's pretty messy. So what you would want to do here is bring the 20 up to 100 times 5, and so what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 7 times 5. Just like our ratios. 7 times 5 is 35, and then now it's a place value, 35 hundredths, because you have your decimal, and your first digit is the tenths place, and the second digit is the hundredths place. So 35 hundredths would be a 3 in the 10, a 5 in the hundredths, 35 hundredths. Now 25 can't go to 10, and 6 and 25 can't reduce, because 5 times 5 is 25, but 5 can't go into 6. So my next option, see if I can go to 100. 25 times 4 is 100, and 6 times 4 is, 24. So 24 hundredths would be a 2 in the tenths place and a 4 in the hundredths place. All right, 11 over 20. Now I can bring that down to 10 by cutting it in half, but 11 can't cut into half very nicely. It would give us 5.5. We don't want decimals in our fraction, so let's go ahead and build it up to 100 by doing times 5. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top, times 5, and that gives us 55 hundredths, which as a decimal would be a 0.55. 55 in the hundredths place. Let me try to focus this one more time. That's a little bit better. Okay, so let's say it's not a benchmark. It's not something I can reduce, and it can't go to 10 or 100 easily. Then what should I do? The last strategy is your last resort, because this one takes the most work. It's called top dog in the house. You simply divide the numerator by the denominator. So 8 over 9, I don't know that benchmark. It's not one of them. I can't reduce it. I can't make it go to 10 or 100, so I simply do a dividing house. The 8 goes inside, and the 9 goes outside. Excuse me. So 9 can't go into 8. here's what you want to do. You're going to add a decimal and a 0. 8 and 8.0 are the same values. Now 9 can't go into 8, can it? No. So put a 0, bring your decimal up. Then you see, can 9 go into 80? 9 times 9 is 81, so it's probably going to be 9 times 8, which is 72. Subtract 80 minus 72 gives me 8, so I have this remainder. Go ahead and add another 0, bring it down. Oh, that gives me 80 again. So 9 goes into 80 8 times. 9 times 8 is 72. Subtract, I get another 8. So it looks like this is going to repeat this pattern over and over again of 8s, 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 and 8s. So we're going to put a forever hat above the 8, which means it's going to repeat forever, ever, ever, ever. Okay, the next one, 1 over 6. I can't reduce it. It's not a benchmark. 6 can't go to 10 or 100, so then I do top dog in the house. I'm going to go ahead and put 1.00. Give me a couple of those. That's the same thing as 1. And then on the outside is a 6. Now 6 can't go into 1, so put a 0. 6, oh wait, get my decimal. 6 can go into 10 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract. That gives me 4. Bring down the 0. Now 6 goes into 40. 6 times 6 is 36. So I would say 6 times. 36. And I get a 4 again. Oh, another 4. Add another 0. Bring it down. So it looks like 6 is going to go into 40 again. And it's just going to keep repeating this pattern. So my answer would be 1.16. And I could put another 6, or I could put the forever hat over that one. So whatever happens, you put the forever hat over the number that repeats. So after this 6 will be another one, and another one, and another one, and so on. Sorry about that. That is not a decimal. Okay, last one. Woohoo! 5 over 2. So top dog in the house, bottom dog outside. Now 2 will fit into 5 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, I have 1 left over. Now when you have a leftover and you're working with decimals, you could put a decimal and a 0. Decimal goes up, 0 goes down. And then 2 goes into 10 5 times. So 5 halves equal 2 wholes, and 1 half, and 1 half is known as a 0.5. Now what I want you to do is convert these fractions to decimals. So first see, is it a benchmark? Is it a number that I can reduce to a benchmark? Is it a number that maybe could build to 10 or 100? Or is it something I've got to do top dog in the house? So remember, you want top dog in the house last because this took the most amount of work. All right, good luck. And then on the back, go ahead and fill in your hundreds, tens, ones, tenths, hundreds, thousandths. Use a pencil in case you make a mistake. We'll go over this in just a little bit. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Stop. No, wait. Okay.